And it's just that I know how heartbreaking that is. You're like, man, I can't believe I'm just still here. And when you have 3 kids and it's just, this is what it really comes down to. And a good question for everybody to ask themselves. Are you getting ahead or just getting by?
Yeah.
And that's I don't like that question, but I like it and I don't like it. Welcome to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs podcast. My name is Scott Carpenter. I am a personal trainer turned multiple gym owner and investor who's already been through the rock bottom and near bankruptcy in the fitness business. But I've been lucky enough to come out the other side and have turned the profits of my fitness business into indestructible wealth. I'll be sharing the no bullshit strategies, tactics, and advice to win big in business and in life. So if you're a gym owner, a personal trainer, or an online coach who wants to make multiple 6 figures in take-home profit and have the freedom with your time to actually enjoy it, subscribe now to this podcast. This is the show for you. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs. I'm Scott Carpenter, of course. Andy Boimila on with me today. And today we're going to kind of talk about something that's on a lot of our minds. I hear it. I do this to myself. Andy, you and I were just chatting about it too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel this way consistently.
And it's this thing where, like, after I've been at it as a business owner, after you've been at it for all these years, right, it probably has crossed your mind where you're like, I really should be further ahead than where I am now. I think that very often, right?
I was literally onboarding a new coach the other day, and I was like, I've been in this for this year, literally December of this year will be my gym's 10-year anniversary. We're like in the process of planning our 10-year anniversary. We're like renting out a space and this whole event. But I was like, it's our 10-year anniversary, and I'm sitting there going, and you know what? I feel like I should be further along than we are.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
That's weird. And first off, that what you have to know is that quite often, if you are a high achiever, if you do expect more out of yourself, which I think most entrepreneurs do, you'll always have this level of thinking to some degree. I absolutely feel this too in different areas. Like, I feel like I should be further along than where I am. And that's a good and a bad thing. That is a double-edged sword, right?
It is 100% a double-edged sword.
Yes. Sometimes you're absolutely right in the fact that you should be further along than where you are at now. And a lot of times it's because we don't have the right strategies, or those have changed. We haven't adapted with it. We haven't reached out and gotten the help that we need to just move these things along in big ways. We're maybe working hard but not smart enough. And it's tough. And a lot of times it's not lack. Oh, huge. I think most gym owners struggle not from a lack of effort.
No, it's definitely not a lack of effort.
But it is difficult to find out what works. It's challenging and it's scary in a lot of ways. I was on with a gym owner yesterday who absolutely, he's great. He's got over 200 members. His rates right now are good, but he's got a lot of OG people that he made promises to, right? And so... And he moved into a larger space a while ago. And so, you look at it, he's got great volume. He's got a price problem. And he's got, and as he moves into more overhead, you have a price and offer problem is what it is. He needs to have the easiest way for him to do that, because now his current rates are good. He's got the OGs hanging out, which is not great. We got to figure out what to do there with the least disruption. And based on the promises that he's given in there, okay? His rates right now are fine, but really he's got 200 and some members. He's got, client list of thousands, or a contact list of thousands at this point. He needs to reactivate and re-engage that to bring in a bunch. And what he needs is another offer for the 165 hours that those people aren't in the gym. Not the 3. Not come work out. Most of the results come from everything else when they're not in the gym. And so all he's got to do is have a high and a mid-ticket program for the nutrition, for the mentorship side, and the guy can double his revenue in the next 30 days from it. He's probably going to, right? Or at least add 10K. in the next 4 weeks. If you can't do that, I don't know what to tell you if you're kind of going through our high ticket stuff. But at the end of the day, like, he's been in business for a decade. And it's just that I know how heartbreaking that is. He's like, man, I can't believe I'm just still here. And when you have 3 kids, and it's just, this is what it really comes down to. And a good question for everybody to ask themselves. Are you getting ahead or just getting by?
Yeah.
And I don't like that question. I like it and I don't like it, right?
It's a tough question.
It really calls things out.
It does. It really puts a mirror in front of you and really goes, okay, am I really getting ahead or am I just getting by? And it actually kind of reminds me of a call I was on with another gym owner 2 days ago. So they had been in business. They'd been in the industry for 25, 29 years, somewhere around there, and then had opened up their brick and mortar facility 15 years ago. They're mostly a personal training studio. And I was like, okay, let's go over your numbers. Like, let's dig into the business. And her overall gross revenue was like, okay. Her members have been with her forever, which is great. But I was like, how do you feel about your business? And they go, well, I'm not making enough money. And I was like, okay, well, like, what's going on? We dug a little bit deeper. They're working so many hours. Like, even trying to schedule the call with them was a challenge, because I was like, let's talk about your schedule. Yeah. And literally, they brought out a piece of paper, and it was like 6 a.m. to like 6 p.m. fully blocked. And I was like, okay, so like, why are we still not making enough money? And they're like, well, I'm working a lot of hours, barely taking home anything. And I said, well, you know what we need to do is we need to remove the bottleneck. I just asked, what do you think the bottleneck is? And they go, I don't know. And I said, the bottleneck is you. Like, you have nobody, like, you have 2 very part-time coaches that aren't really doing much. You're doing all of the fulfillment and still trying to run your business. Like, no wonder you're not where you want to be after 15 years, because you're doing the same thing over and over again. So when we talked about doing the easy thing, which is the hard thing, but not the smart thing, it's a clear case of that, right? They're doing what is hard, but it's the easy thing to do, instead of going and making the smart moves to really expand the business and open things up to allow for more profit to come in.
Yeah. And it's not always, in some cases it's obvious. We know what we need to do. In a lot of cases it's not. And, out of all the things that you could and should do, what do you need to do in your business? And again, sometimes it's obvious and sometimes it's not. And so that's where you and I have kind of really, we're creating this analysis tool to diagnostics, to run through people's businesses and see where those bottlenecks are. And, there's like 6 categories that we take a look at. It's, number 1 is kind of like, how winnable is your model, your winnable model?
Right. Does do the numbers actually work?
Right. With giving you a large margin of error.
Exactly.
Right? Your projections can't work only in theory if everything goes well, because shit does not always go well.
No, nothing is ever 100%.
And so that involves it's your prices, your offers, your avatar, right?
Yep.
Who's your customer, your margins, your net profit, right? All of that, and your 3-year projections. Like, is that a winnable game for you, or are you just always going to be on the struggle bus, right? And you don't have to blow it up, but sometimes you just need to change or modify it, right? Yeah. So there's that, because you have to play a winnable game, right? And then it's butts and seats. It's about getting members, getting people in the damn door and converting them, having them become a customer or a member, right? And so that's your marketing strategy, and that's your nurture and your sales system. That's a big component. There's a lot in that.
There's a lot in there.
That's a lot where gym owners are struggling, because shit has changed. Disposable income with inflation has just crashed, right? Everybody has tons of at-home equipment, the rise of online trainers, the fact that Ozempic exists, the fact that chains have oversupplied us with gyms in a lot of markets. All these things, the political environment. I don't care whether you're left or right, but man, shit is intense. And people get glued to their screens and social media. And you see those patterns happen with elections and this and really heated things. It's people are just focused on what's going on in the external world and not what's going on in their own internal worlds, right?
Yep.
So, but winnable model, butts in seats, and that's the strategies you got to take have to be specific for you, your business, your offer, your avatar, and your market. What works in somebody else? Everybody's a one-trick pony talking about, all the marketers filling your feed about going to get you 1 billion new leads and clients. They have like a play. That might not work for your business. That might not work in your market. Right? You need to pick and choose what is going to work for you and your business. But winnable model, butts in seats, you need world-class retention, right? And what's your client journey? Because you can't fill a leaky bucket. Impossible.
No.
And then it's
literally just
kind of what you were talking about. It's just falling through. Yeah. And you'd think that would be obvious. It's not all the time.
It's still shocking to me how many times I hop on a call with a gym owner and I'm like, so what's your churn? And they go, I don't know. I go, what do you mean? How do you not How are you supposed to understand how many clients you need to get in a month to outpace churn if you don't know what your churn is? And if you don't know what your churn is, how do you know where your holes in your retention strategy are? Like if you have a majority of clients leaving at the 4-month mark, why?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know that,
and a lot
of
times we get biased. We think our churn is much better because we'll dismiss the ones that kind of go in and out in the first couple months. The first 1 to 8 weeks, right?
But
so we kind of dismiss
know
those
that's the most pivotal too, though.
Right. And then sometimes you can fix some of that in the model that you have. There's certain things that you can do. A lot of it comes down to your client journey and what you can do on the retention side there. So there's a lot of factors in that, right? And also your marketing does tie into it. Sometimes, right, with the guy I was on with yesterday, they tried this one brought in all the wrong people who were just in and out, right?
Yep.
So that front-end offer was a miss for his market because it brought in the wrong people.
Yep.
And so it's not always just always do this, never do that. That's bullshit. There's nuance to this. Right? You sent me that thing. You're like, I hate this kind of stuff. It was a business coach putting out there like every CrossFit gym needs to do this and here's the math to prove it. No, not every freaking one. That's just marketing bullshit.
I know. Period. And then I kept getting for the next couple of days case studies about like why every CrossFit gym should do this one thing and how it's going to bring you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I was like, it's such a blanket statement that just it's not true. Like, it's just not true. And it's so frustrating to see other people out there preaching stuff like this where they're just a one-trick pony. They notice that one gym was successful at it and they think that, oh, this is what every gym should do. And that's just not true. Yes. It's not the case.
God, it's not true, man. I mean, it's just not. I know it's simpler for these business coaches. It's simpler to have one product or service and sell that, and everybody should do it because it worked for me or it worked for these people. But man, these markets are nuanced and they're different. And I am method agnostic. You are method agnostic when it comes to all this. Like, I do know starting up a new location in general, running with like an overlapping personal training, semi-private, small space in most markets is easier and less risky.
Absolutely.
That being said, large group can freaking crush it.
100%.
Right? One-on-one can crush it.
And that's what it comes down to. It comes down to also what's going to make you as the owner happy.
Yes.
Right? Like if you want to be 100%. On the floor coaching, then do that. And if you want to be coaching large group classes, then that should be your model. Like everything can work if you take a look at it from a very simplistic standpoint. And I think that's one of the things that really drove us to create the model that we're building was it's so overwhelming when you're a fitness entrepreneur. There's so much to do all the time. You feel like there's marketing you need to do and athlete relations you need to do and keeping track of expenses and mentoring your team and making sure that your team is not fucking up and ruining things for you. There's just so many things all the time. And you and I sat down and we said, let's break this down. If we were to take a fitness entrepreneur from zero to their dream business, what are the key aspects of a business that we think that are necessary? And so we came up with these, right? We have winnable model, which we talked about. We have butts and seats, which we talked about. We have world-class retention, which we were talking about. We then comes like dream team. These aren't sequential, but bear with me for a second. Dream team, which I was talking about earlier with that gym owner that I was speaking with the other day. Then we've got systems, right? And here's the thing with systems. You and I both know the more complicated a system is, the less likely it is to A, be even implemented, and two, when it breaks, it is awful to fix.
Yeah. A lot of times we just get too in the weeds about creating SOPs and things, and we need those. But they got to be simple. They got to be so simple, and you can't hey, listen. It sounds great to systematize and automate every damn thing in your business. It ain't going to happen in a service-based business. You can't. You need the people to run the systems. Right. And there is the fatal flaw. Listen, if it's an algorithm, great. The algorithm works, right? It just goes. It's a computer. But people, we're in the people business. And if it isn't simple, it's not going to happen for you. And it's going to break down. You're going to spend all this time designing a system that doesn't work.
Exactly.
I've been guilty of that.
My wife will tell you that I do that all the time. But, over the last year, something that I've kind of stuck with, a mantra, is simplicity scales on all aspects.
Yep. So that's why we call it, KISS systems. Keep it simple, stupid systems, right? And then the last thing, the sixth thing, and it's not sequential.
No, we just numbered them 1 through 6 so we can keep track of them.
4 or 2 or 1, 2, and 3, whatever it is. But all these 6 different areas we got to make sure we're doing. The last one is your CEO skills. This is your high level. You as a business owner, this is what you got to, because I have seen some amazing businesses that crumbled because they didn't know what they were doing on the balance sheet.
Yep.
They messed up on taxes big time, and it sunk the business. They got a predatory merchant cash advance loan. Those things can be predatory, and you don't know it, and it kills your business, right? Leases. I've seen people they get 30 days notice, they got to find a new place. And it's just a downward spiral because their rent jumps up by double. There's not many places. And I've seen all this stuff happen. You haven't dug your well before you're thirsty. You don't have access to credit and capital just in case you need it. And the worst thing always happens. You lose your 2 best people, then the HVAC goes out. That's a 16 grand bill. And you're just like shitting your pants. And you were in business for 8 years. And all of a sudden, in 2 months, you're on the verge of losing everything.
Yep.
And it's not a question of if, it's when quite often. Look at what can happen. COVID, Facebook and algorithm shifts on ads, like you name it. Whenever you're feeling the most safe, like just beware, right? Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Have we all been
right?
There
and
before?
what is it? What is it? Was it Arkham's razor? I don't remember the exact thing, but it's like, Murphy's Law. The worst thing that could possibly happen will happen, right? And
yes, yeah,
right, and especially when you don't expect it, and that's where it goes downhill. And it's unfortunate because we have seen businesses sink themselves because they weren't prepared or whatever. But on the back end, we've been working through this model with a couple of fitness entrepreneurs that have been seeing great results, that have been seeing major shifts in their business. Right, we're seeing people plug retention holes that they've had for years and able to keep more clients so they don't even need as many leads as they did before.
Yep. And it's, when we talk about are you getting ahead or just getting by, if you aren't getting way ahead and you're socking away 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 grand in investments to start creating passive income, look at what happened with inflation. Yeah. Look at what happened with home prices. Holy shit, if you're not getting ahead, you're not getting by anymore. You have to get ahead to maintain more houses. Yeah, I know. It's wild. But the average American is losing ground at such a rapid pace due to inflation.
Yes.
It's astounding. Freaking astounding what happened over the last 4 or 5 years. It sickens me a little bit. It's also why we're having a hard time as gym owners attracting people, because people's disposable income has tanked. Yep. Right? And at the end of the day, if you're making the same amount you were making 5 years ago, you are way behind. You might as well have taken a 30-40% pay cut.
Right.
And if you're not getting ahead right now, you're falling behind. And here's the thing, we all have to probably pay for our kids for a very long time. We all have to retire at some point. And if you're not getting ahead, you are falling behind. And that's a hard truth to hear and to see and to look at. But at the end of the day, you got to take your shit seriously. And out of all the things that you could and should do, it's like, where do I even start? Let's figure out where those bottlenecks are with your winnable model, your butts and seats, world-class retention, dream team, KISS systems, and your high-level business ownership and CEO skills. Rank those and figure out for you in your business, what's the most important gap to close right now? And I know your time is finite, right? And you're doing everything, you're doing all these things. But where do we need to put in a little bit of effort? What's the 20% of inputs that we need to close the gap on to get you 80-90% of the way there? And that's what we need to go after. And systematically, we need to shore up and make sure all those 6 categories are looking good so that you can build your dream business. And your dream business is the business that you want, that brings you joy, that provides for you and your family financially, and allows you to start creating passive income with. And it's the one that allows you to enjoy your time and not have to work 60 hours in that place, right? You might be happy working 40 or 30, or maybe it's 15 or 5.
Heck, if it's 60, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, go for it.
Yeah, that's fine too. Nobody's here to tell you how to live your life and your business. But here's the thing: don't give yourself the excuse of being a martyr either, because that's not fair to you. It's not fair to your family, and it's not an accurate thing. It's a defense mechanism that I used to use up for myself. But I can't abdicate my financial responsibility to get ahead for me and my family and provide opportunity and abundance, right? So, yeah, I mean, if you do feel like, ask yourself the question, am I getting ahead or I am just getting by? If you're just getting by, don't shoot the messenger, but you're falling behind. The world has just changed in the last 5 years, right? And you need to take a hard look and look in the mirror and be like, what do I need to change? What do I need to change? So it's a hard thing to hear sometimes, but I need to hear it sometimes. And listen, I'm not perfect either. In some areas, I'm like, shit, I'm just getting by. I need to make some changes.
Yeah,
that's it.
Absolutely.
It's no judgment. It's not I suck, right? I've made every damn mistake. I have been guilty of procrastinating and not moving the needle forward. And when other people tell me this and pose this question, like, I need to hear this shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been avoiding certain things because it's uncomfortable, or I don't know how to do it yet, or I'm fearful. Fear is a big thing. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid of doing it wrong. I'm afraid of making a mistake. I'm afraid of losing money. And that fear can paralyze us.
Fear is also going to keep you exactly where you are now.
Exactly.
Maybe
so
that's
we just
why.
Need to zoom out.
Maybe that's why I've gotten to where I am, because I typically don't have enough fear, which is what my wife tells me all the time. She's like, why are you not concerned? I'm like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll just make it work.
I've kind of had a bit of that too. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been caught where fear has prevented me and caused analysis paralysis and all that. But in general, yes, I am less afraid than other people in many instances. And that's kind of why. It's like, I'm not afraid to just fail faster.
Right.
Is what it is.
Yep.
And I mean, we're all going to fail, but fail faster. And you're one step closer to success that much faster.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think you're right. I think I'll figure it out. Hey, whatever happens, I'll figure it out. Right.
And the reason
a lot of us just get stale.
All you guys listening, the reason Scott and I are sitting here talking about this is because we have failed, and we have failed fast, and we've come back from it. And that's why we're on this journey, because we're taking the things that we learned along with other gym owners and fitness entrepreneurs that we've worked with, and just want to teach everybody else that it's okay to fail, and there is a better way to do it. And you don't always have to be doing the thing that seems hard, but it's only hard because it's the easy thing to do, when instead we should be doing the smarter thing.
Yep, you're absolutely right. So the stuff that's going to get you ahead is quite often uncomfortable, So lean into that. And if you get that feeling where like, I'm afraid to do whatever you're afraid of is usually what you need to be doing. Period.
The obstacle is the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right, guys, hopefully this was what you needed to hear. This is what I need to hear periodically from myself or from other people. I might as well have just been doing a podcast for myself.
Yeah,
right? This
true.
one. But hopefully this was helpful to you and spoke to you in some way, shape, or form. Don't forget to do the like, subscribe, all that stuff. Share this with another gym owner or business owner who needs to hear this too, right? Whether it's in business or not, we all need to hear this stuff repeatedly. I don't care what level you're at. So appreciate it. Stay tuned for our next one next week. We'll see you again. Thanks a lot, guys. Listen, if you're stuck and could use some advice in your business, whether you're just starting out, a veteran in the business, or expanding online or into multiple locations, you can hop on a free call with us to pick our brains at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. You can see that in the show notes. That is with numbers. Chances are we'll be able to help you get some clarity on what you need to do specifically in your business to get to the next level. It's not a sales call. We'll connect you with the right resources to help you solve your problems. But if you want to learn more about working with us, that's cool too. We can share that information should you want it. So book your call now to get out of the rat race before your week consumes you, which is easy to do at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. That's with the number 1 on the number 1 call. You can find this in the show notes. See you soon.